Hello, welcome to another video from BetfairTradingCommunity.com. Today I'm going to explain the Betfair Exchange in very basic terms and show you essentially why software will help improve your Betfair trading experience. So if we go to the Betfair site, what I think most people get thrown by when they first join Betfair is kind of, what are all these boxes, right? What are all these? Why is one box blue? Why is one box purple? Pink, I think, yeah. Why is one box pink? Basically, these are the back and lay sides of a market. So I'm just going to select the DC United versus Inter Miami match here to talk through this a little bit. And as you can see, on this side of the market, the blue side, you can back. This would be if you wanted to place a bet on something to happen. So if I wanted to back DC United, the odds I'd be getting are 1.55. So let's say I wanted to put 100 quid on that or whatever. The profit on there is actually 55. Okay, so you're not making obviously more than the 100 plus back. This is an odds-on shot, 1.55. If you hover over, if you're used to fractional odds, you can actually just hover over the odds and it will tell you what the odds are roughly. So this is 8 to 15 or 15 to 8 on if you prefer it that way. This is 11 to 2. And this one's 7 to 2. Okay, so that makes it much easier. If you're coming from that betting background, you're coming from that bookmaker background, that makes it much easier to understand the odds. Now, the beauty of Betfair is that you don't just have to back things, or you are able to lay things as well. So if you go to this side of the market, you're actually betting against something to happen. And the stake you input is not the stake you're risking. It's actually the stake you would win. You'll get commission taken off that a little bit, but it's basically the stake you'll win. So again, let's say we want to lay £400 here. You can see that now we'd actually lose 57 if DC United won, but we'd make 100 if Inter Miami or the draw won. I assume Messi's not into Miami yet, looking at these odds. I think he needs to get involved. But yeah, so that's basically how the backing and laying work. And the idea is, if you're trading on a market, you want to back something at higher odds and you want it to come in so you can green up. Or you want to lay something at short odds. So let's say you were laying DC United here, you might lay them for the 100. And then let's say you then wanted to back them at 2.0. You're going to want to back them a little bit less back stake. So let's go for, it'd be around £80 will green this up. Yeah, so if you then backed at 2.0 for £79, you would then make £22 if DC United won, £21 if Inter Miami won, or £21 on the draw. So you're basically greening up essentially there. Now, in play, if that happened on Betfair, they give you a cash out button. So if you wanted to use that, that is very easy to do. But that is basically the basis of the Betfair Exchange and kind of the back lay principle, and why it's basically you're taking prices a bit like a stock market exchange, I always say, of sports. Now, what's interesting as well here that I think some people don't do enough, especially newer traders, beginners, they don't ask for prices. So let's say I wanted to back into Miami here. Now, as a seasoned Betfair trader, I look at this market and go, well, there's not a ton of money on either side. It's 6.4, right? But why don't I try and ask for 6.6? So what you could do, let's just stick it in quickly here. Actually, I don't want to risk it in case it gets matched, do I? So I'll just put a tenner in. But as you can see, I've now asked for a price, and my £10 stake goes on that lay side. And basically, if anyone's willing to lay at that price, my bet will get matched. Let's get it cancelled because I don't actually want to bet on this game. So you can see there, I can ask for a better price and then wait. And if that doesn't get matched, I can always come back later and take the price that's available. And at the moment, that's 6.4. So a lot of the time it is worth asking for a price, especially when there's a gap here. You know, because there's a gap and you can fit into 6.6. The same on the draw. If I was going to back the draw, so you've got the draw at 4.7 and 4.9. What are you going to do? Well, I'd suggest you ask for 4.8. Exactly the same thing, £10, and it will end up in the lay side waiting to get matched. Now, you can obviously do the same when you're looking to lay. So basically what you do when you're looking to lay is you go, okay, I can lay, let's say I want to lay into Miami here. You can go, well, I can lay at 6.8, but if you look here, the problem is that 6.4 is the one below. So in theory, I could go, right, I want to lay at 6.6. Again, you'd use a £10 stake. But this time, it would actually go to the backside. As you can see here, it's gone on that side. So that's where it's just waiting to get matched, okay? So that's basically how you can ask for prices. I don't think enough people do this. And if you get that better price, to lay at, that better price to back at, it makes a big difference over time. Those little small differences in the profit you'll make on your winning trades, they do make a big difference. So it really is worth doing. But yeah, that's basically the basics of Betfair Exchange. Now, the big problem I think a lot of beginner traders have is, well, my God, let's go back to the homepage. You know, my God, how many things are there to bet on? How many games are there to trade? Just looking at the homepage, right? This is just highlights. So this is hardly any of the markets. You've got New Zealand women, England women, DC United, Argentinos Juniors. You've got tennis, you've got cricket, you've got darts, you've got snooker, you've got baseball, you've got basketball. I mean, just, you know, and then just look at the horse racing schedule for today. How many races there are. Rugby, basketball, blah, blah, blah. And on and on and on. And then obviously if you just prick football here, you're going to get loads more football matches pop up throughout the day. And this is a Thursday when there's no like winter leagues on during the summer. And even then, there's this many markets to bet on. And I think what happens is a lot of people end up, when they start out trading, they just go, well, I'm just going to bet on whatever's there. So, oh, look, it's New Zealand women versus Norway women. There's a market to bet on. Why don't I just get involved there? Well, a couple of reasons. One, do you actually have any knowledge of those leagues or anything like that? Probably not, right? I'm suggesting most people wouldn't. And also, there's not much liquidity in the market. It's a very gappy market. So for a newer trader, I don't think it's a particularly easy market to trade. And if you're trying to scale that up in the future, it would be difficult. So there's not a ton of value trying to trade on a market like this. So you might be then thinking, well, Martin, how do I even think about coming up with selections then? Well, this is the reason why we created BetfairTradingCommunity.com, essentially, because we wanted to give you software that would help you actually make selections, decide which games were worth trading for you. So if we go to, I'm just going to type Betfair Trading Community into the tab here, and this will log. I'm already logged in, but you get the home page, and then you just need to log in if you signed up as a member. And then I'm just going to click the football software here, and I'll bring that up for you here. You'll be able to see that. And basically the football software is where you can create your own strategy. So just ignore the match on here for now. There's a filter tab here on the right hand side in the top corner. Just going to click that. Here I can actually just create any strategy I want. So let's say I want to pick games where there's a lot of over 1.5 goals. Yeah, I want to know which games are likely to have over 1.5 goals. Well, I'll just pick overall, average, actually I'll do percentage, and then over 1.5 goals. So you want full time, over 1.5 goals. Going to select that. Then you just choose, well, what percentage do you want them to have had over 1.5 goals? I'm going to do greater than equal to, let's go for, I'll try 75. It might be too high. I might not get any selections on that on a Thursday. And then I'm just going to pick tomorrow or earlier. I'll use the scope of last 20 matches. I want to get it as relevant as it can be. And I'm just going to save that filter. Oh, I need to give it a name, don't I? So what should we call it? Let's call it over 1.5 tests. Because I don't think I've called anything that before. And as you can see, actually quite a lot of games have come up here. So you can see what the percentage is that they've had over 1.5 in that scope as well. So this one will be 93%, 90%, 92%, etc., etc., etc. Actually, quite a few games. Well, I guess if you include Chile as well, because that's a midnight game, you've got 6 games in the next 24 hours. So that's interesting, right? That you've got 6 games you can look at and go, okay, maybe these are the ones I want to trade. If I'm looking at over 1.5, maybe these are the markets I want to look at. These are the ones that have a good chance. Now, next thing to do would then be look at odds. You can add odds again, which is great. So if you just scroll down and click edit filter, you could then add in an odds selection. So you'd click Betfair for that and then click odds. And let's go for over 1.5. And then what do we want? Greater than, equal to, let's just go for, say, 1.2 here. Okay, see if anything qualifies. We don't need to change anything there. And there we go. We've got 2 selections. So that has narrowed the field quite a lot. But that might have got a price where you're actually like, actually, this could be a value selection. Now, the other thing you can do really quickly as well is, so you've got these 2 selections here. Now what you might want to do is go, well, actually, I want to have a look. Let's have a look at the data here and see, where could the potential value be in trading this? Maybe it's not just backing over 1.5. Maybe I want to look at this as an in-play trade. Maybe I want to get in later. Maybe I want to get in for second half goals and things like that. What's interesting here is that I've picked this TPS one here, half time. So these results here, half time 0-0 has actually happened quite a lot. Look, 8 times, 1-0 12 times, 0-1 7. So we know at half time it's likely to be that kind of scoreline. So maybe we do think, well, if we think this is going to have over 1.5, we know that they have quite low scoring first halves most of the time, then maybe the second half goal is a good option here. Let's have a look at the full-time scores. And you see how much that changes. The 0-0 goes down considerably. The 1-0 does as well. And suddenly it gets a lot more varied here. Clicking on Estudiantes, actually hardly any games finish 0-0 at full-time. So look at the half-times. And still the same amount at half-time. So that might be one if it gets to the half. You go, well, I know that the last 8 games, only one of them that's been 0-0 at half-time has finished 0-0. Again, could be a good second half goal opportunity. That's something to look at again. But this is like how simple it is. So really simple criteria, really simple filter. There's obviously a lot more you could do. There's a lot more, there's many more filters you can use. But the point is, the software is actually giving you kind of a structure to your Betfair trading where you can go, okay, I'm going to trade this. And it makes sense because statistically, it says that this has a high chance of over 1.5. The odds aren't crazy high, crazy low on that. So actually, that could be a good opportunity to look at. And then you can look at the games, like I say. You don't have to do that. I like to have a little look at the games and just have a look at them individually, see what the scores are at certain points. But there's so much you can do with this, obviously. There's loads of different things. You can pick the over-unders, goal times, score conceded, blah, 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 all that stuff, okay? But the point is, it gives you a focus and structure because, like I say, if you're a beginner Betfair trader, if you're a new Betfair trader, I think one of the big problems you have is, well, where do you start, right? If I've got so many markets, right, and like I said, look, did New Zealand women pop up in the software? No, of course not, right? That is probably not a market we should be trading, especially as a beginner trader, right? But if you're sitting here, and I did this when I started, so the reason I say this stuff with some authority is not because, I'm some guru of trading or anything like that. I definitely don't think that I've got zero ego when it comes to trading. What I know is that I went through this myself. I experienced this myself when I was a beginner trader. And one of the big mistakes I made was just trading every match that was there when I was looking at Betfair. So, if I'm sitting there and it's a Thursday morning and I've not got a lot to do, and I go, oh, I want to do some trading, then I go, oh, hang on, there's a match coming up. Actually, that's ages away, that match. I don't know what's on the home screen. But I could get on, so let's have a look right now. Let's go back to the home page here. So I could click the in-play here and actually see what's available to bet on now. And I could go, well, yeah, I'm going to start trading the Myanmar League. I mean, I know nothing about it, but I need to trade something because I'm off at the minute. And, I'm going to put down a big bet on, the favourite. Hopefully that'll win. I mean, there's no sense to it, right? But how many of us do that? And we go, well, it's what's on right now, so I better trade it, okay? One of the biggest mistakes newer trade. And like I say, I'm not some guru, because I know that. I know that through my own experience. I know that through 10 years of running Betfair Trading Community, training new traders. How many traders try and get in? I'll tell you the worst thing I did, and I mentioned this on a podcast actually, but one of the worst things I did, and it sticks with you, remember, I was trading on beach football. There's actual league, like beach football tournament things. And I was trading on it. I think it was like Brazil versus Switzerland. I mean, it's just stuff like that where you go, you actually take a step back, you take a second and you just think, what the hell am I doing? But yeah, anyway, guys, if you're new to the Betfair Exchange, I hope that's helped you. I hope that's kind of given you some explanation of it, but also kind of, I'm trying to tell you about some of the pitfalls as well and show you why actually getting a helping hand, getting software, getting some training, getting someone alongside you, it does help you if you're Betfair trading. You know, virtually all successful traders have done that at some point. That's what they did to get successful. It wasn't just that they woke up and they were magically good at trading. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, if you feel like you want to respond to it, head over to betfairtradingcommunity.com. If you're not a member, have a go, sign up. It's very cheap you can do like really short trials, really cheap. The other thing is, if you are a member and you're watching this, get involved, get in touch with me, get on the forum, you know, ask some questions. If you need any help, I'm always there for you guys. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, please do. If you comment on the video, I do try and get back to you. Let's use the word Myanmar. So if you've been watching and you comment Myanmar, I'll know that you guys have been watching and appreciating the video. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you all. I'm so glad that you've chosen to watch this video and just spent some time with us. Martin from betfairtradingcommunity.com. I'll see you later. Have a great week. But most importantly, of course, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.